Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. We are 1 week away from the Reese's Senior Bowl, which goes down next Saturday. What better time to break down my top 5 guys to watch out for? Let's get it.
Third down. Hurts keeps. Hurts cuts. Hurts has the first down. And Jalen Hurts going to just put it away for the Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles select Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama.
Happy Saturday, everybody, Eagles fam. What is going on, guys? If you're new to the channel, always smash that subscribe button. If you're here already and you're watching us live, be sure to comment, man. Let me know your thoughts. Are you excited about next week's Senior Bowl? Guys, I have been putting out my top 10 wide receiver rankings, linebacker rankings, cornerback rankings. I've got scouting reports on all the top quarterbacks here for the 2022 NFL Draft. And today we're going to go through my top 5 prospects to watch. These are not necessarily Eagles targets. Some are big time. Some aren't. But these are guys that I think could really make a name for themselves throughout this week of practices and a really good performance at next week's Super Bowl. The Reese's Senior Bowl will go down 2:30 East Coast time on NFL Network. Here's just a quick look at the roster. You've got the national team, Kobe Bryant of Cincinnati, Travis Jones of UConn, Logan Hall out of Houston is a name to keep an eye on. Dude is an extremely versatile player, can play inside or outside on the defensive line. Arnold Ebiketie out of Penn State is someone you want to keep an eye on. Kind of a jack of all trades, dude. He doesn't have elite speed, doesn't have elite athleticism, but he gets the job done. Definitely a guy to keep an eye on, especially in round 1 and 2. Devin Lloyd there, don't expect much out of him. Chad Muma is a guy that I really like. He's a linebacker out of Wyoming. He thrives in coverage. He thrives in the run game. Extremely good size, 6'3". Definitely want to keep an eye on that guy. Troy Anderson out of Montana State is another kind of interesting name you want to keep an eye on. The dude plays offense and defense. He's a really fun story. He's thrived on both sides of the ball. What we're going to see this week from Troy Anderson is going to be really fun to watch. And then we get so that's the national team. So let's get into my number 5 prospect to watch. For me, it is Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce from Cincinnati, 6'3", 213 pounds. This dude is a freak athlete. Pierce, this is an explosive wide receiver who played on the outside and on the in the slot for Cincinnati last year. He's rumored to post a 40 time in the low 4.4s, like even like a 4.42. If that's the case, man, you know that this guy is going to be one of the media darlings at the Combine, at the Senior Bowl, 100%. Last season, this is a guy who ate press coverage for breakfast. He's got a solid array of quickness and body control. That's the first thing that stands on tape. Is a guy that's the total package when it comes to dominating in the red zone. He has really good length and natural hands. He can extort his body and make plays on the ball, especially in the red zone. So I think the biggest thing that Alec Pierce needs to work on and refine is his route running. His route tree and polish aren't exactly the best. He needs to keep improving on shorter routes to be a true option from the slot, which I think he'll be primarily. He's not very physical, which at 6'3" is a little surprising. So watching Alec Pierce go up against the top defensive backs, beat them off the line of scrimmage is going to be something I will be watching, no question about it. Right now, I've got Alec Pierce pegged as a day 2 prospect. And I think with a solid performance this week during practices, I look to kind of see him separate himself from the pack in that second and third round. This is a guy you want to keep an eye on because he's got the speed, the size, all that kind of stuff you're looking for in a wide receiver prospect. Let's go to my number 4 prospect to watch. And that is Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. You look at his size, 5'11", 184 pounds for Jahan Dotson. What a huge week for Dotson, who for me is just outside my top receivers in this draft. He's behind Drake London. He's behind Jameson Williams. He's behind Garrett Wilson, Treylon Burks. Jahan Dotson is a receiver who can line both in the inside and the outside. Very good slot guy. He's a plus punt returner. His ability to consistently win versus press coverage last year was like amazing to watch for Penn State. Extremely impressive prospect. Jahan Dotson, he's a really good athlete. He's a really good route runner. Dangerous with the ball in his hands. I think this is a prospect with one of the elite route trees in the class. His understanding of how to angle his routes in and out of the breaks and his ability to make catches on poor throws, I think should really allow him to stand out this week, especially during practices. The biggest knock on Jahan Dotson, he doesn't have elite speed. He's only 5'11", and that's kind of a concern. This is a massive week for Dotson to kind of put away those concerns and allow his technique and skill set to shine, and it's all there for him. So I have Jahan Dotson pegged for the second round as of now, but a solid performance this week could see Jahan Dotson potentially vault into that first round discussion, which would be a major win for this guy. Tons of talent, just a natural wide receiver, natural hands. Just has to put those size and speed questions to bed. Let's go to my number 3, and that is Jermaine Johnson. I really like this guy. You kind of think about Mississippi State's Montez Sweat when back in the 2019 Senior Bowl, he was being looked at as a possible first-round pick. He went out and dominated the Senior Bowl during the first day of practice, man. After that, he was like, I'm out, and just to kind of avoid injury, and sure enough, became the 26th overall pick to Washington. Jermaine Johnson is in that same boat as Montez Sweat. This guy is 6'5", 255 pounds. He has an 83-inch wingspan, so he boasts those kind of similar dimensions to Montez Sweat. This is a big-time prospect to watch out for, man, especially during the combine. Jermaine Johnson ran a 4.5 40-yard dash back in high school. Obviously, that's going to make him one of the premier standouts this week. The first thing to know about Johnson is his elite athleticism at 6'5". It's truly impressive. But what is also impressive is he's not just a speed guy. He's got an array. He's got a skill set of moves. He can beat offensive linemen off the edge. You look at kind of his tape this past year, man, going up against some strong guys from Boston College, Clemson, some top 5 picks. The tape is really good on Jermaine Johnson. So if he can kind of bring that juice to the combine, to the Senior Bowl, this is a guy that's just a few big practices away from being a lock for the first round of the draft. This is a guy with great size, great length, great skills. Everything is there. Everything is in place on the table for Jermaine Johnson to have a huge week, and cement himself, because you look at this edge rushing class and it is insanely deep. This is by far I think the best group in this draft is the edge rushers, and Jermaine Johnson's kind of in that next tier. You have Karlaftis, Hutchinson, and Thibodeau, and those are the top 3. But after that, there's a bunch of guys here in that next tier that are extremely good. Round 1, round 2 talent. Jermaine Johnson can separate himself from the others with a really good Senior Bowl performance. Let's go to my next one, and that is, for me, Myjai Sanders. Myjai Sanders is my number 2 here. Strong senior season with the Cincinnati Bearcats last year. Although you kind of saw his stats kind of dip a little bit. His sack frequency wasn't as good as the prior 2 years, but he was asked. It's important to know that for Cincinnati, he was asked to play out of position for the Bearcats. So that's what we're watching here. And like I said, it's truly incredible how deep this class is. I talked about Jermaine Johnson. Myjai Sanders is that guy in that tier that is just an elite pass rushing defensive end in this class. He's got a great first step. A solid Senior Bowl here could separate himself, like Jermaine Johnson, from this amazing deep edge rushing class. First thing to know about Myjai Sanders is his frame. The guy is 6'5", ridiculously long arms. That frame truly shines when he's disrupting passing lanes. He had 12 passes defended over his last 3 years at Cincinnati. So all eyes will be on how this guy does as a stand-up rusher in one-on-one drills during the first week of practice. That is a huge thing to watch. And it's going to be a lot of fun because his size is just so fun to watch. I think, we could really, truly see this guy's lightning quick first step and burst out of in those drills could be, the guy that everyone is talking about at the end of next week. I think this guy is truly set up to be one of the major standouts at the Senior Bowl. Let's go on to my number one guy to watch, and that is Malik Willis. Malik Willis, a quarterback out of Liberty, 6'1", 215 pounds. Man, I know like most Eagles fans, watched the playoffs last weekend, just like myself. You're watching that epic Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen showdown, and we were all thinking, does my team have a quarterback who can do what they're doing? And I honestly, more than likely, the answer is no to that question. I like Jalen Hurts. I'm excited to see him improve this year. He's my starter for 2022. But there is a quarterback in this class that oozes elite traits just like that, and that is Malik Willis. Malik Willis possesses terrific arm strength. He's got excellent speed and wiggle to make defenders miss on the move. Willis is that kind of in that same place where Josh Allen was coming out of Wyoming as this super raw prospect, but has a ton of talent. Malik Willis's physical tools and arm strength, I think, make him one of the biggest boomer bust picks in this class. His two biggest strengths for Malik Willis are his physical tools and ability to throw deep down the field. He has just as many bad flashes there have been last year. He has a lot of really impressive throws on the move, on the run, down the field. What I like about Malik Willis is he's always in attack mode, for better or worse. What Jalen Hurts struggled with, especially this past year, was if he felt any kind of pressure from the edge, he put his head down and ran. Malik Willis doesn't do that. He will leave the pocket, but he's always looking to use his arm, improvise, and throw on the move. That's the major separator there. Some quick stats about Malik Willis. Malik Willis ran the RPO in nearly 33% of his offense at Liberty. On dropbacks, Malik Willis scrambled on 30% of those dropbacks, the highest of any quarterback in this class. A really strong Senior Bowl could see Malik Willis's draft stock become cemented in that round one area. I think this is the biggest wild card in the entire draft class. You look at Matt Corral, you look at Kenny Pickett, Carson Strong, Sam Howell, all those quarterbacks kind of could be in that day one, day two range. Malik Willis is the wild card. I've seen this guy from the first round to the third round. So, what I'm looking for is how this guy handles inside the pocket. Just like we want to see growth from Jalen Hurts, becoming a better passer, feeling the blitz, staying in the pocket, making throws accurately, on time, in stride. That's what I want to see from Malik Willis. We all know this guy thrives in the RPO. That's what he is, just like Jalen Hurts. But Malik Willis's accuracy, which he struggled with that time, his completion percentage was really good this year, but he did have flashes where he was missing guys, overthrowing guys, way too many interceptions at times, in just small chunks, a lot of interceptions. So those are my top 5 guys. I am absolutely watching for it. I cannot wait. Guys, if you're new to the channel, as always, smash that subscribe button. Tons and tons and tons of Senior Bowl content coming your way this week. And I'll probably be doing a watch party next Saturday, just reacting to the top news going on with the NFL draft and Eagles draft targets. I've got 5 mock drafts already out for the Philadelphia Eagles round, 2-round mocks, 3-round mocks, 4-round mocks. I did one last night with the Pro Football Network. That was a lot of fun. I had a really good response with that. And guys, if you're watching this live or you're watching it afterwards, drop me a comment. If there's someone you want me to do a scouting report on, I will make that happen. So thank you everyone for watching. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Crockpot. For everything NFL draft, be sure to lock it down to the painted lines. Tons and tons of draft content on the way. I've got my top 10 wide receivers video going down very, very soon. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Go Birds.
Third down. Hurts keeps. Hurts cuts. Hurts has the first down. And Jalen Hurts. And it just put it away for the Eagles.
The Philadelphia Eagles select Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama.